What is up, everybody? On this episode of DTV, I install a new floor shifter for the Maliboom, try to button a few things up to get her all the way to Vegas for LS Fest 2018. And while I'm at it, I make an awesome new floor pan patch that rivals this bad boy. Check it out. What is up, everybody? We are back on the Maliboom today trying to get things wrapped up so I can get this bad boy to LS Fest. Again, I put a new LS motor in it, did some upgrades. If you missed the dyno video, you can go check that out. I made over 350 wheel horsepower on E85 with the new setup that's in it. It's still a 5.3, just got some heads and a couple other upgrades. That's all in the other video, so go check that out if you haven't yet. So for today, I'm gonna work on the center link for the steering, because you can drive this thing like B.A. Baracus and A-Team. You pull the wheel back and forth and the damn car goes straight. I mean, it's a good quarter turn in either direction. We got to get that resolved because I have a good feeling we're going to be up over 100 in the quarter, and that's fast in a sketchy car. This car has seat belts from 1964. They're nice and weathered, and then other than that, I got a helmet that's all sparkly that I will wear, and then just some minimal amount of gear to get this thing down the track. So I will probably be second guessing my life choices at the top end of the track, driving this janky thing, you know, at 100 miles an hour. First time I drag raced it, it had never been even freeway speeds because I had such a bad vibration in the driveline that I changed it out to go drag racing, and the only time I took it down the drag strip was the first time it went above my speeds here. My streets are 25. So I went 92 and that was sketchy. So now it's time to fix the steering, because that last time at 92 with the A-Team steering is kind of a bad feeling when you're doing 100 going, this is not good, and you're second guessing your life choices. So I'm going to make it better this time. We're going to fix the center link so the steering is better, and then I've got a new shifter going in. We're going to run a gated shifter. We're going to get to it, and I'll give you a quick look at the shifter, and then some of the other issues we got on this thing, and we'll get rolling. So here is the shifter I bought for the car, B&M Pro Stick. This is a gated shifter, which means it's not ratcheting. It actually has positions that it lives in, depending on which gear you're in. The one that I have in the car, I'll show you, you just ratchet it. It bumps it one way or bumps it the other way to put it in the gear or not in the gear. And then I got this little guy. It comes with a neutral safety, and I bought an extra one. This should turn the reverse lights on, so we're going to tackle that while we're in there, hopefully, but we'll see how we go. Let's take you for a quick look at what I got in here. So this it's a B&M Pro ratchet. I will just pull this bad boy out, and then these wires, this car was actually a clutch car, that's why I have 3 pedals still, as you can see. And then all this was just taped up and bundled up here. So I will go through, because I would imagine and bet that neutral safety and my backup lights are right here in this bundle. So I'll just have to wire those up, figure out which one's which, wire it up to the new get up, and we'll go. And then there's a sweet patch panel, looks like, that somebody just folded up and threw over here. So when I take this off, we'll look at it, but I highly doubt I'm going to have any time to really get in and do any work to the floor or nothing like that. So we will just stick the new shifter to what's already there, because this guy seems to be mounted decently. I haven't had any issues with it getting loose or nothing. So we will do that. And then here is the steering. So this thing's not turning the wheels at all. So if you look out here, turning, not turning, turning, not turning. So we'll resolve that, so that way we're a little safer going down the quarter mile. And that is it. So that's what we're gonna work on today. Oh, and then my buddy Kike gave me these. So I got one here and then one in the trunk. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I hope they fit. That is if my Mickey Thompsons don't come through. So that way at least I got a tire and I can do a freaking burnout. That'd be rad, because you can't do burnouts on radials. I mean, you can, but it just turns them greasy. So then you feel like a wiener, because you got to go around the freaking burnout box to get traction, and people just think that you're a loser because you're not doing a burnout. And that's half the race. Hell, if I do a good burnout, that's as good as winning. Alright, so I got all the bolts out, and I have this sweet riveted panel on here. And the stellar can opening job they did on the bottom, I think I'm going to crawl underneath with this camera to show you guys. I've seen lots of can open jobs on all the cars I built. And I don't know what it is about you guys, the older guys, in can opening these floors and not having saws to do it, but now I have to take this whole panel out because I can't get to the bolt because it's under the can open job. So I'll show you guys that.
Hey!
Hey, look it!
What's up?
Local celebrity. So here we go, we opened up the floor, got the awesome shifter out, and this is the can open job I was talking about that's wonderful. And I have the bird shit caulking or liquid nails or whatever that is. So it's pretty awesome. And instead of doing what I should do, which is fix all of this, I'm gonna do what is gonna get done, and that is make a patch, put the shifter back on, and do some burnouts. Special visitor. All right, back to my janky floor pan. So, I have decided that this crappy can open job deserves a crappy patch to go with it. This car, I'd have to take the seats out, and then let me show you the real reason I don't really want to straighten any of this up or do anything. See this stuff? This is like the factory jute or whatever they call it. This is fire waiting to happen. If I cut this, I could almost guarantee this would catch fire. And I actually caught my Maverick on fire and I had to put it out with a hose. So I don't want to deal with any of that today. I'm not taking the carpet and the seats and all that crap out to get a cutting wheel and to even all this up. So I'm just going to make this go away with the cover. Maybe one day we'll revisit it, or maybe we won't. But somebody did some awesome work here, and I only have till before 4 o'clock I have to be cleaned up, and I'm going to Night of Destruction. So I'm just going to make a decent patch that goes over it. Maybe paint it black so it doesn't look so wonderful, and we will mount the shifter to it. We're going to bang some gears and drive this bitch to Vegas. Alright, so here's where we are with this. We got the Franken patch done. Again, I'm doing it this way because that's kind of how they did it, and I don't really have time to cut that, make it nice, pull all the carpet out, weld in a piece. I mean, it's just not realistic for what we're trying to accomplish. And again, this is my car. This is just for fun. This is not some Riddler winner, you know, customer car that we're trying to sweep shit under the rug. This is blatant, and I'm gonna leave it exposed, and I don't care. We're gonna go have some fun with this car, and this isn't gonna make or break how the car does down the quarter mile. So it is what it is. Maybe one day we'll address it. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But we got Franken patch in, and then I can pull it back out, mount the shifter. I can actually set the shifter on and get a tentative location, and then mount it and do all the fun stuff. Just for shits, I'll put a slick bead roll on it so everybody can go, wow, you really tried hard. We'll do that. I was in here playing race car. I found the tentative location. This is my new shifter that I like, and then I marked it and then drilled just pilot holes, so now I know that it'll go right where it needs to go. And the next step is to take this piece out and to make sure everything clears. Like underneath this one, I think I might have to clearance that. So I'll pull this out, drill the holes properly so I can get this guy mounted. And then, like I said, maybe we'll just run a little bead roll around it so we can be heroes. Or maybe. So I wasn't gonna bother bead rolling it, but I figured, you know what? We'll just make it extra special because it's a crappy piece, and I'm putting it in my car, and it's gonna live there. So at least when somebody sees it, they'll go, "Oh wow, this guy bead rolled that piece," and then we can all laugh about it. Maybe I'll put a big sticker here that says "bead rolled for power" or something funny. So we are bead rolled for power now. I went around and I just traced the little thing that I drew real quick. Here is what she looks like on the inside, so you can see it steps up. So that is it. Alright, so here's the finished Franken patch panel. The last thing I did is I mounted the shifter where I wanted it, saw where the cable would be coming through, and then I actually just drilled a hole that was big enough to fit the end of this guy in. And then obviously you can see that it's kind of oblong, so what I did there, because the cable feeds in, I don't want it to pinch and rub on this and bust a hole through it, just put a big bolt in there and bent it down. So it bends this down, pops that up, that way when your cable comes out it's got a straight shot to go through. Looks a little ugly, but we're here for some action, not for looks. We're here so things don't break and I can just go fast and smile the whole time and not worry about frayed cables. I'd like to worry about doing cool burnouts and going straight. Okay, so we got the shifter mounted to the patch panel, and then these little guys are micro switches. There's this little plate back here and it activates it, and I labeled which one's which so that way I don't have to screw around. Top one's reverse, the bottom one's neutral safety. I know that those are right. We will put the janky shifter in and continue on with our adventure. Alright, so the shifter is in, the patch panel is mounted. You can even see where the liquid nails used to be. So we are rolling. Now I just have to put the cable through, hook it up here, and then I'm going to get underneath the car and get that situated before I come in here and mess with wiring, because I want it to function before we mess with the safety stuff. Alright, so we've got the janky floor pan Frankenstein Frankenpatch done, the shifter mounted, and of course this is life. This is exactly how car building goes. You go, hey, I'm just going to throw a shifter in today and I'm going to put that other part on today. Well, no you're not. You're going to make pieces of floor pan, and then you're going to have to figure out how to put those in, and then you're going to mount the shifter to that, and then you're going to move forward and get to the wiring portion of it and everything else. So this is life. It's car building. It's funny because I mean, I still do it. Every single project I got, I come out, I'm like, I'm going to kill this thing. This shouldn't take any time at all. Yeah, well, go make some floor pans before you put a shifter in, and that's life. But we're getting it done. We're getting it moving. I'm going to take it off jack stands because the stupid door keeps closing on my leg and it is really annoying. And I'm done underneath. I got the shifter adjusted properly according to the instructions. So I'm buttoned up underneath. We'll put the car back down so the doors will stay open. Now it's on to the wiring to make sure neutral safety works, reverse lights, and then that is it. Throw the cover on, throw the shift knob on, and we done. All right, so here's what we're looking at. This is in place, and then this is my wiring bundle. So I'm actually going to unwrap this, see how many loose ends are here, see what's hot and what it is not. So I was in here and I had my voltmeter checking the grounds. I had my plug end over here, and I looked at all these and I'm like, man, this is where the party is for this guy. And it wasn't working, so I wiggled it a bit and I found the line over here, and then I pulled it down and went, oh well, hell, no wonder why he don't have any signals or anything, because nothing's plugged in. Yeah, that's the thing with these cars, is somebody's messed with it before you. And it's funny because everything was there and I thought they just taped it off because they had it taped off. Well, they unplugged it and taped it off, so they did their due diligence, man. Alright, so here's what we got. I dug around. I basically just found where it was disconnected, plugged it all back in because I know what it's supposed to do, and then these two purple wires, they just had them jumped underneath the dash. Luckily they didn't hack it, it was cool, they just plugged it in, so I unplugged it, plugged it back the way it should be, cut the end off, and now this is my neutral safety. So if we turn the car, you know, on, say I'm in first gear, nothing. You know, we come up to neutral, we're good. We come up to park, we're good again. And then the top guy is going to be my reverse lights, which one of these wires is hot, and then I have to figure out which signal goes to the reverse lights. Then we'll have reverse, we'll have neutral safety, and this install is done. I think now that I have access, I moved the seat out. I'll beat this down a little bit and throw a couple more rivets. And then I found this wonderful patch that holds the seat bolt in. And I don't really care, but I don't know if they're gonna give me crap about that at tech. So I don't know what to do about that. But I'm gonna worry about this because that's where I'm at. Alright, so I had to adjust this little micro switch and move it so when the plate hit, it clicked. So now we're in park. Now we have no reverse lights. Obviously the key is on. If I move it back to reverse gear, we should have power. Alright, geez man, a little more involved than I thought it'd be. Pain in the ass. Yeah, this thing has to be, there's a little bit of wiggle room, and if it's not right, it doesn't depress it all the way, or it's depressing it when you're not in the right spot. So we are good to go. Well, here she is. Obviously the car is still a mess, but this is the final resting place of my B&M shifter. Everything is in there. It is ready to go. Everything functions properly. So I should be legal as far as neutral safety, and then I had the reverse lights hooked up because I figured since I was there, let's just do it. And you'll notice that the seat is gone, so my buddy's just gonna make a big patch so I'm not sitting all weird when we go. So that is done. Everybody, well, that is a wrap. The shifter is installed. It functions properly. We got neutral safety, which is mandatory when you're drag racing. The reverse lights, I don't know if those are mandatory, but they do work because they're supposed to. And I'm one of those guys, if you're already there, just do it. Just take the extra couple minutes and figure it out. But I did have to look through the instruction manual several times to find where it said you had to replace pieces of your floor to install a shifter, and apparently my car is one of the only cars. There's probably actually a lot of cars that do need a big floor pan patch replacement before people start putting stuff like that in it. But it's in there, it's not going nowhere. We can bang through some gears. Today is Sunday. I'm leaving Thursday for LS Fest. If you're going out there, stop by, swing by, say hi. You can see this thing in person. And other than that, don't forget to click the chicken, and I will see you guys on the next episode. And if not there, I'm going to see you in Vegas.